So what is Mucuna pruriens? Mucuna is actually a bean, or the velvet bean, part of the Fabaceae family of plants, or the bean family. And Mucuna, of interest to persons with Parkinson's disease, contains natural levels of levodopa. As a matter of fact, the levodopa that was developed originally in the 1960s was developed or extracted from the fava bean. Research shows that Mucuna might reduce Parkinson's symptoms and might actually have quicker effectiveness as well as longer duration with helping with symptoms, even compared to medications like Carbidopa, Levodopa. There are some problems with Mucuna pruriens, and I want to make sure I highlight those for you as to not give the impression that I'm truly recommending this, just to simply inform you before you go out and look for Mucuna pruriens to try to take it on your own. You want to make an informed decision about that, and that's what I'm trying to do today. So something that's distinctly different about taking Mucuna, which even though it's natural, it's not the same as a medication. Carbidopa levodopa specifically contains carbidopa, which that medication, when combined with levodopa, is specifically designed to reduce some of the gastrointestinal symptoms that you might experience by taking levodopa by itself, namely nausea and vomiting and/or stomach pain and cramps. The other problem with Mucuna is that there's no standardized dosing, and research really hasn't shown a true way to recommend that to this point. And therefore, it's really difficult to advise anybody on how much to take and when, because there's really no standardized way to recommend that or to prescribe it. That's a problem because with no real baseline to go off of, there's not really any way to recommend to any specific individual how much to try to take. What is known is that the amount of levodopa found in the beans is between 60 to 500 milligrams. But again, it's not regulated, so you don't know really how much you're absorbing and how much bioavailability there is of what you're consuming with the Mucuna. The research just is not there quite yet. This may not be a problem initially, but it could be an issue down the road, especially as you're progressing through Parkinson's disease 5 or 10 years later. There's a neurologist named Dr. Luis Zayas who practices in Tennessee in the United States of America. He had some pretty strong words to say about supplements like Mucuna pruriens. In fact, he specifically talked about it in one of his videos, and I wanted to show you that clip here.
This is my opinion regarding supplements, specifically Mucuna pruriens. If you live in USA, there is no need to use these products. There's no reason to take these type of risk. However, if you are doing well taking this product, Mucuna, getting the best of you, then continue with that. Why to change something is working for you? If you live in a country with limited resources, then it is an option if you have the correct guidance from a neurologist in your area. If you ask me whether I will take this product, Mucuna pruriens, if I have Parkinson's disease, the answer is no. I will be taking Ritari or regular Cinemet in combination with a very well-designed exercise program and a balanced diet.
I want you to pay close attention to what he said at the end there. Combining medication like Cinemet or Ritari with a specifically designed exercise program and a balanced diet. Now he says balanced diet, but the interpretation of that would be an anti-inflammatory diet, because he gave the example of the MIND diet, which is one of the multiple anti-inflammatory diets that you might try as something that you could do as a dietary lifestyle change with Parkinson's disease. I happen to agree with Dr. Zayas that it's a combination of things. It's not one thing or the other. So in my opinion about Mucuna pruriens, and I'm not a physician, so take my opinion with a grain of salt, but as a healthcare clinician, I can tell you that my recommendation would be take the medications as prescribed by your physician who's treating you for the condition of Parkinson's disease. Find somebody like myself or another person who specializes in Parkinson's that's especially a therapist who can prescribe a very specific, well-designed exercise program for you, and then also to explore anti-inflammatory diets. I'm going to put a link in the upper right-hand part of the screen on a video that I did on the ketogenic diets and how that could potentially help you, even though that's not the only approach you could or should use. All of that being said, if you notice an improvement in symptoms while taking Mucuna pruriens, I would recommend to continue doing so. And Dr. Zayas actually said the same thing in his video.